Could you just start by giving us a prognosis on Nathan Massey, please?
Yeah, Massa's done his MCL. Looks like he'll be a 6 to 8 weeker. Hoping he might be able to push himself to come back for the Hull Kingston Rovers game. So, that's the target he's putting his own man. Hopefully, with the rehab that he does, and he's notoriously being a quick healer. He'll be available, for them, but don't want to, push it too much. But that's the diagnosis.
Is that actually better than you thought it might have been?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, after the incident and looking back at it on video, it was a real nasty one. His ankle got in the awful position, and obviously the knee took a fair bit of the impact of obviously the collision. He was in a brace straight away, a little bit swelling, and the ankle was black and blue the next morning. So, yeah, it was better than we anticipated. So, we've got lucky there.
Squad this week, how taxing has it been to get a squad and a side together for this game on Friday?
And yeah, it's been okay. Obviously, getting Mahe Fanoa back in the fold helps with regards to the depth and experience of your squad, and Brett Farimo, back in the fold. Albert Vete, back in the fold. So we've got some experienced players back there. So, need to make sure that we get team selection right and give ourselves the best opportunity of getting another quality performance against a very, very good side.
Riley Dean, I'm guessing, will make his debut on Friday. If he does, what do you want a Riley Dean Jacob Miller partnership to look like?
Yeah, Riley's coming, very, very good footballer, comfortable, playing short and long with the ball in hand. Got a good running game as well, and short kicking game's something which I think will add to us. Just looking him to be that foil for Jacob Miller. Milky can lead the team, and Riley just be that second pivot to Jacob. And they've done really, really well on the training field. They look as though they're comfortable, and they're building a nice combination there. And with Gaz Widdop finding some reasonable form, certainly against Warrington. He's looking to threat out the back. So the span of the team is looking good, and I think the team know what they're on with now. Very, very comfortable with how we want to play. We've just got to go out and execute.
And if he comes in, that allows Jack Broadbent to go back into the centres, and that allows Alex Mellor to get back in the back row, doesn't it? Do you feel you've got a more balanced side at the moment, if that's the case?
Yeah, I think Alex Mellor's done an excellent job in that centre position. He's an athletic back row forward, but he's a very, very good talker, is Alex. And, that's helped from a defensive point of view, with Will Tate over the last couple of weeks, and also Jason Gary. Alex has got good experience out on the edge, and his communication is one of his biggest strengths. So, that's the reasoning behind obviously playing him as a centre. And like you say, with Riley coming in, it allows us that flexibility, to get Jack Broadbent obviously covering, the position where he feels most comfortable, which is in that centre spot. But I thought he did an excellent job out of dummy half last week. So, really, really pleased that little tactical change, him, playing with ball in hand in that 9 position, but then defending back in that 3-man position, was really, really effective, and, it caused Warrington some problems.
And will Alex Mellor continue to captain the side for the foreseeable?
Yeah, he'll continue to captain the side for the foreseeable future. Obviously, he was named vice captain of the year, and I don't think he's done anything, wrong to have that prestigious position taken from him. Obviously, Max Shane's injured at the moment, so Alex has stepped up, and he leads by example. Very, very good professional, good training, like I say, very good communicator, and did a good job last week behind the sticks in motivating his team, and encouraging them when we needed him to. So Alex will continue to lead.
And just behind the scenes, Jack O'Neill, is he enjoying the progress that you'd like? And are you still of the mind that he might feature this year, or has that changed?
There's a chance that he might feature. It's taken a little bit longer to get him up to, rugby speed than we anticipated. He's got a little bit of a sore Achilles at the moment, and that's due to obviously the running and the weight that he has to do. I think Jack was expecting it to be a little bit quicker than it actually has. But he's gone from 18 months ago, almost, back to a playing level, and then, made a decision to pursue other interests with what's it called, Love Island. And then, he's dropped back in to, wanting to try and, finish that journey from a rugby point of view. So it's taken a little bit longer than he probably anticipated to. But he's working hard and he's got his head down, and he's doing what he needs to do. So hopefully, we're maybe seeing Jax, participating from a playing point of view. But it's just a slow process.
How do you assess the challenge of Saints on Friday?
Yeah, it's a big challenge. I went and watched the game live with my two sons at the MKM Stadium, and Hull FC got after them, and St Helens probably weren't at the levels that they've been over the last couple of months. So we're anticipating a wounded St Helens team. Got a huge amount of respect for their playing group and their coaching staff. The champions for a reason. They'll bounce back, so we're expecting the best of St Helens, and there's no greater challenge than facing them after they've had a defeat and facing them at home. So we'll need to be really, really, really good to get a result. But we're excited about that opportunity and that challenge because there's no bigger one in the game. So it's going to be a full-blooded contest, and we're looking forward to it.
To that end, lastly for me, that Hull did go about it a certain way. Do you have to go about it in a similar vein on Friday to get anywhere near them, do you think?
Yeah, I think the big thing what Hull did well was early on they moved the ball around and got those middles moving around, and they created a couple of opportunities, and the opportunities that you create against St Helens you've got to take because they don't come by very often. What Hull were able to do was convert the few chances that they did create early doors, and it applied a little bit of scoreboard pressure to St Helens, and then St Helens, as good a side as they are, got rattled a little bit and made some unforced errors which you don't normally see them make. And Hull FC were able to hold on to obviously that comfortable lead they created at half time, and was able to see it out. I don't think you'll see St Helens turn over as much ball as that again this year. So we're anticipating Saints to be bang at it, and they'll respond like champions do, and we'll need to be very, very good to get the result on Friday.
Just a quick one. What's the sort of plans around 9 then with Macca being out, and obviously what's your options there looking ahead?
Yeah, the Jack Broadbent situation. We'll probably look to use Jack in there to start the game, and try and be a run threat and a creative threat out of there at dummy half, with a view to then bringing Kane Robb on. So both of those two players, quick, athletic, running threats. And we'll need to try and create some ruck tempo, against St Helens. So they've been given a specific role to play. And we're looking forward to obviously how that unfolds tomorrow.
Has Jack played there, obviously last week and everything, but has he played there much earlier in his career, or is that the first time he's really done it?
I'm not 100% sure. He's played every other position apart from front row, I think. So he's very, very versatile. He's looking forward to it. He enjoyed that role from an attacking point of view. This week, he'll have a little bit more defensive work to do, which is an area that Jack needs to improve on from a physicality point of view, getting body in front, and he's going to be doing that in the middle of the field, defending against some big bodies. But he's someone that I've got a lot of confidence in. He applies himself in the right way, and he's looking forward to the challenge.
Just a real quick one. A lot of people see a game at Saints as a bit of a free hit. Can you take the pressure off a little bit for a game like this and get the shackles off?
Yeah, I think the way that we played last week, there was a freedom to what we did, where we caused Warrington some problems with our ball movement, our distribution. We created some good opportunities against Warrington, and we was able to take a couple of those opportunities that were created. I think it's the same against St Helens. They are a very, very good defensive team. They've got unbelievable line speed. The kick chase is very, very good. We'll need to make sure that we're controlling the ball well and turning over in the right areas of the field, but also ask them some questions. And I think if we can get some shapes on and move the ball with the freedom that we have done, certainly last week, we're hoping that'll create some opportunities, which I'd like to hope that we can take against St Helens.
Do you view this game as a bit of a free hit, or are there no free hits at this level?
I don't think there's any free hits for the position that we're in. We need to try and perform to the best of our abilities week in, week out. We had a great result against Warrington, a really, really good performance. And we've got some confidence within the group. Training this week, there's been a real upbeat atmosphere, and that's what comes with winning. And winning against one of the better teams in the competition. You know, we've taken a great deal of confidence from beating Warrington. And we're hoping to see, you know, that confidence when we play tomorrow night against Saints.
I just wanted to ask you about Riley Dean.
Yeah.
What are your impressions of him since he's arrived at the club? Obviously, he impressed during that loan spell in the Championship for Fev earlier on this year.
Yeah, he's a very composed young rugby league player, and he's a smart operator. He's fitted in, you know, really, really well with the group. He knows his rugby. You know, picked off some, you know, real nice kick plays during the week, and come up with some real nice pass plays during the week. He just looks comfortable there. He just looks a natural footballer, which, you know, is what we need. And I think he'll, you know, be a real good fit for us as a team between now and the end of the year. It's going to be a real benefit to Riley, you know, playing under pressure week in, week out in Super League, a team who were, you know, battling at the bottom of the competition. So he'll have to, you know, take on some ownership and take on some organisational duties for us. And, you know, it's something which I'm sure we'll excel in.
Good stuff. And could Riley have a long-term future at the club, or is that just too early to say?
Yeah, it's too early to say at the moment. Obviously, he's here on a season loan till the end of the year. You know, we're going to have a good look at him, and you know, he'll probably have a good look at us as well, and see how it fits. But at this moment in time, yeah, it's too early to say.
A few weeks ago, when you were really struggling, you looked as though you were carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Can you feel that sort of pressure lifting now? Because obviously things have. I mean, the Warrington thing's a really interesting thing, isn't it? Because early in the season they murdered you, and last weekend you beat them. You know, which shows. I don't know whether that's your improvement or their decline, or a mixture of both. But you know, things are looking a lot better now.
Yeah, they are looking a lot better. I'd like to say it's our improvement. I'm sure if you asked Darryl, it'll be their decline. So, you know, it's one of those. You know, Warrington obviously a very, very good team, and we've taken a great deal of confidence from obviously beating them. You know, the ebbs and flows of a season.
Particularly if you don't mind me interrupting, when you were winning 14-0, they came back to 14-0. You could have panicked at that point.
Yeah, I think.
And yet, you know, you didn't. You know, and obviously, Gareth Widdop, I thought, showed his experience at that point by putting you a point ahead again and restoring a bit of a sense of calm.
Yeah, I think that was the most pleasing aspect. You know, it was the fact that we got off to a good start. We got 14-0 up on the scoreboard, and you know, Warrington, you know, with the quality that they've got, reeled us in, and we was able to, you know, reset during the course of the game under pressure and managed to.
Sorry, I can't speak at the moment. Sorry, there's just my phone going.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I was able to reset and come back and, you know, get across the line. And like you say, you know, I think the big thing for us is the wins that we've had, our best players, our higher end salary cap players have actually performed exceptionally well. And we need them to. That's what they get paid the best money for. And that's what they've, you know, been brought into our club to do, you know, that experience. And, you know, Gareth Widdop, you know, had a poor game by his own high standards against, you know, Salford. And, you know, he was told, obviously, in no uncertain terms in review that, you know, we need him to be better. And he responded like a champion player does, and, you know, came up with some telling plays for us in that game against Warrington last week. And we'll need, you know, those senior players to do the same again tomorrow night for us to compete with St Helens and have a successful evening. You know, we need our best players, you know, to put in strong performances.
It's interesting watching that Hull game against Saints. One player who, on the Hull side, who particularly impressed me was Brad Fash, who I thought, you know, was a bit of a terrier really when it came to, you know, harassing the Saints team when they had the ball. Particularly Alex Walmsley. I thought he gave Alex a fairly uncomfortable game. You know, you don't normally see that happening. I just wonder whether you've picked up a few thoughts on that about how to handle their big guys in the middle.
Well, that was always a tactic that we had for Brad Fast when I was at Hull. Was his tackle target was always to take out people's legs. And I remember we played Warrington when they had the big fella Citaletti Aquala. Was a real strong ball carrier, and we basically said to Brad then, you'll get out from marker and chop him down. We've seen obviously the Papua New Guinea team, do the same to Alex, a few years ago, go and, try and stop him getting those rampaging runs that he's known
and
for.
Stop him offloading, yeah.
Offloading, and obviously, Brad did a really, really good job. The challenge is, Alex, will, respond accordingly, and we're expecting to, the best of Alex Walmsley at the weekend, and did do a good job of frustrating him, but the champion players and champion teams, always respond, and I'm sure Alex will respond with a strong performance tomorrow night. What we need to do is take a leaf out of their book, make sure that we don't allow him, that time, and make sure our line speed's good, and try and stop him influencing the game like we know he can.
And just one final question, Andy. Obviously, part of your role is to win every game as it comes up, but also to look ahead and recruit the squad for next year. I get the feeling that you're pretty near to having done that already, and that the fact that you've been in the threatened with relegation until probably quite recently, and you still are to a small extent perhaps, but it's not troubled you in terms of recruiting a squad for next year, has it? I get that feeling.
No, we've done okay from a recruitment point of view. We identified what we wanted, spoke about the age profile and lowering the age of the squad, and trying to get some younger guys in who've got a point to prove and some desire and ambition. And we've done okay with a view for next year. We're still very much focused on this year. I don't feel comfortable, where we currently sit on the table. We want to be looking up the table. We want to be trying to, reel in, the Huddersfields of this world and the Hull FCs, and, even further up the table than that. We want to be looking forward. We're not happy with the way that we've played. We're not happy with the results that we've had, so that's a big focus for us as a group, is making sure that we get some wins and get some, good performances and good results, what we can use to take into next year. But also our fans deserve, better than we've showed this year. We need to be consistent, and we haven't been consistent. So that's a challenge for us, Friday, back up a strong performance against a good side at home, but let's do it on the road now, and go toe-to-toe with St Helens and give it a real good crack, and that's what we're intending to do.
Yeah, make sure wins are not just one-off things, but
definitely
regular.
regular, and you take a lot of confidence from winning. And the last time we got a win against Leeds, we faced a lot of adversity. That following week, we lost 7 players and made it very, very difficult to back up a win when we played Salford at home. This week, we haven't suffered as many injuries. We've suffered 1 or 2, but hopefully we'll see a really, really good performance on Friday night against Saints.
Do you feel like you're making inroads with your squad now? Obviously, 2 really good results against Leeds and against Wire last week. So you must feel like you're making some progress. Yeah,
definitely feel as though we're making progress. But, you're judged on results and you're judged on performance when it comes to the 80 minutes. And, there's some stuff that we've done in the training field. There's some stuff that we've done, in and around the place in terms of our culture and the environment and that togetherness, which doesn't always showcase itself when we play. That's the biggest thing for us. We've got to transfer what we're doing on a weekly basis into results and performances. And I think you've seen little snippets of it, the togetherness that we showed against Leeds at the Magic Weekend, and then the connection that we had with the supporters at the Magic Weekend. They had a great weekend and they travelled in great numbers to support us. And, Friday night, it was rocking down here at the Jungle. The players could feel that the fans were with us and really got behind us in certain moments in the game. When it got to 14-all, we're coming back to kick off to Warrington, and the "Come On You Fords" started to ring around the stadium, and that was spine tingling, and it really gave the players a lift. And we're far better as a team with those supporters behind us, and there was behind us 100% on Friday night, and we're hoping that we can use that to inspire us to continue good performances between now and the end of the season. So, yeah, there's been some progress made. It's been a little bit slower than I anticipated it to be, And there's been some challenges along the way, but I do feel as though we are moving in the right direction, and we can continue putting in performances which showcase that desire and that ambition and that want to pull on the Castleford shirt. I know that the fans will get behind that, and that gives you great hope and optimism for the future.